going to get a chair in case you want to sit down.
Larry, can you make sure this is on? Plenty of seats right here. Is it on? It's running.
See the numbers in there.
Oh.
So I'm Lisa Markey, and I'm Joe's friend, and we also work together. And this is Joe Arquetta. And we're going to tell you the story of Joe's life so far. And in telling you Joe's story, we hope to illustrate the effects that institutionalization and segregation had on Joe's feelings and on his behavior and on his quality of life. And I've known Joe for 17 years, and I've researched all of his records and interviewed people that have worked with him throughout the years, and also been able to witness changes in him because we've been friends for so long. And Joe has also told me lots of stories about his childhood and his life. Some of the photos that we're going to show you in the slide presentation are kind of sad and might be a little disturbing, but unfortunately, they're things that Joe recognizes from experiences that he had as a child. And we don't actually have photos of Joe when he was a little boy, but we got some pictures from a book called Christmas in Purgatory, and it's a photo essay on institutionalization. There were pictures taken at state hospitals in the 60s. They don't name the state hospitals that they were taken at, but they were typical of things that were going on at the time, and that's the time when Joe was there. So we're going to use those pictures to describe Joe's childhood. Joe thinks that these pictures accurately represent his childhood. They're so familiar to him that he actually thinks that these are pictures of him. This says, "Why does the wind blow upon me so wild? Is it because I'm nobody's child?" And that's a sad quote, but it reminds me of Joe because when I first met him 17 years ago, he used to say all the time, "I ain't got no people." And he used to, and that really made him very sad because he didn't have any family or friends that, except for people that were
I got people now.
Now he does. Yeah.
I got people.
Good.
Little people too.
Great. Yay for people.
Very good because
Yep. Joe was born. This is his birth certificate, and from the birth certificate, you can see that Joe was born in 1941 in San Francisco, and his dad was from El Salvador, and his mom was from Texas. I read that she was Mexican, and his dad was Salvadoran. And in 1941, a lot of times doctors said, if you have a disability, you should be institutionalized. And unfortunately, I think Joe's parents were probably very nice, but they didn't know any better. So they, they put him in a state hospital. And if you can see, Joe was in the hospital only for 45 minutes. His mom was in the hospital for only 45 minutes, and then she had him, and he was premature by 3 months. And back then they didn't have the technology that they have.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you. Is it possible for you to use the microphone, please?
No, I'll just talk louder.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me again if you can't hear me, okay? So Joe was institutionalized, and this is, now you can show the first slide. Well, that's what we're going to talk about. in, and I'm sure he felt lonely when he was there. And you can see there are so many cribs so close together and there was very few staff in the 40s when Joe was institutionalized. There wasn't enough staff to hold the babies and rock the babies, so they grew up, feeling not having the happy life that somebody might have if they grew up with their parents.
Like Nina. You know Nina? He got babies too, you know Alice?
Yep.
He got babies too.
Yep. That's right. There was
You
physical.
know Andy? You know Andy? He got babies too.
Yeah. There was, Joe was physically and psychologically abused in the institution, and physical restraints were very common then, again, because they were short-staffed. They sometimes to control the kids and control the patients, they put them in straitjackets and physical restraints. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah.
There was also a self-perception that Joe had that something was wrong with him, that he was damaged goods, and that's common too, because if you grow up in a hospital, you don't grow up in a home, and you kind of grow up thinking that something's wrong with you, that you're not, that,
No, I can't put it down like that.
Right. And also, people sometimes develop behavior problems.
You know.
Okay. Okay. Sometimes people developed behavior problems because they were institutionalized, and I don't know if you know that we're all kind of naturally copycats. People act like, we sort of naturally copy each other. Like Joe and I were on the airplane yesterday, and we saw somebody else reading their magazine, so we thought, well, we'll read our magazine. We see somebody else, I don't know, you're in a store, you see somebody do something, and you do what they do. And unfortunately, when you grow up around other people that are having behavior problems, sometimes you copy what they're doing. That's the way to get attention. So, next. There was also...
That's a very good time.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. Oh, there it is. There was little or no education back then, so people weren't taught how to read and write. That's just some boys sitting around the table doing nothing.
I wouldn't show that.
Yeah, that's the next one. And there was also sterilization. Everybody was sterilized. They weren't explained why, so they wouldn't have babies, and a lot of problems with that. And this is a man sitting underneath the table. Sometimes people just couldn't stand the noise and the commotion, and so people would get under the table just to get away from it all, and other types of survival behaviors. With Joe, a big thing that happened to him when he lived in the institution was that he had stress around mealtime because it was too many people and they just all were eating at the same time, kind of racing to see who could finish first because there wasn't always seconds for everybody. And that's a hard habit to break. It's been years and years, and Joe still has stress around food, and it's a real stressful time for him. Sometimes that results in overeating, because you don't know when you're going to get good food again, so you kind of take advantage of it when it's there. And with Joe, this is a man laying in the sun, and that just reminds me of Joe, because he does that all the time. He loves the sun. And unfortunately, he didn't have any people when he was little, so he always said, what did you always say? He said, I only got the what? You got the sun? Sun and moon and stars. Because he said they follow him. So he would say, I don't have people, but I got the sun and the moon and the stars.
I saw on TV.
Yeah.
I saw my people on TV.
Yeah.
457 and 38 and Channel 50.
Yeah. And because he talked about the sun and the moon and the stars so much, he actually talks to the sun sometimes. He got diagnosed as having a mental illness that he doesn't even really have, and then they put him on a lot of drugs and stuff. So that was a problem.
I don't know about that, you know.
And Yeah. And in San Francisco, sometimes the group homes are in bad neighborhoods because that's the only place where they can afford the property. And so that was some of his experiences.
There's the bus picture.
Yeah. I think it was, or at least in my end. Okay. Okay, next. There was still a lot of sadness in Joe's life. He was out of the institution, he was into a group home, but he still had a pretty sad life. Still didn't have people, and he still was in segregated programs like this one. And I think that Joe also felt abandoned again, because now he left some of the friends that he had in the institution, some of the nurses, the people that were friendly to him, and they are gone. And now he's in a new environment with all new people, and that was still really hard. And I think he felt abandoned again. What's that, Joe? That's Joe having an ice cream, and it was nice to be out in the community and have access to good food, but it was also too much. It was like all of a sudden there's all this food available, and that ended up having, he started having more problems with food because it was too much, and just he wasn't prepared. He hadn't learned how to pace himself. Yeah. Joe was in the community. Next one, actually. Okay. Joe was in the community, but he wasn't really part of the community. He was going to programs like this. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but I've worked in places like this where they have you put pegs in the pegboard. That's like how you're supposed to keep busy all day, things like that. And sometimes it's really frustrating because one person puts the pegs in the pegboard and the next person takes the pegs out of the pegboard, and you just did all that work to put them in. That's the kind of stuff Joe was doing. And I know because I worked in the program that he was in, and I remember doing that kind of stuff with him. Joe was in a workshop. This is a guy working in a workshop. That didn't work out for him. Yeah?
Did Joe have an illness, a mental illness called schizophrenia?
That's what they said he had, but he doesn't really have it. The workshop didn't work out for Joe because you have to work fast in the workshop, and you only get paid for everything that you do, each piecework, and his paychecks were like $2. His paychecks were so low, and he didn't like it at all. There was too many clients and not enough staff, and it was really hard for him.
I did good. I did.
Yeah, she didn't like it that much. Okay, next one. When I met Joe, he was at a recreation center, a lot of other guys with disabilities, and people that actually some of his old friends from the institution, and it was okay, but it wasn't really like being out part of his community. He was still in a special center, and he wasn't really interacting with people that much. In 1984, I met Joe. And I'm not saying that I am the hero that changed Joe's life, but I think having somebody to love him really changed his life. And he had somebody to love. And it wasn't just me. There was a lot of people that sort of came together around this time for Joe. And Joe and I met in 1984. This is a picture of the sun. It's hard to see it, but he gets real excited about pictures. And I was in college, and I took him to a baseball game on a Saturday, and he'd never been out with anybody before.
You took me to football, too.
Yep. And the next Monday, Joe told everybody he was my brother. He said,
carries lawn tent, and the shop, and roof, and all like that.
A lot of people. So Joe,
There's Peter, yeah.
I was living in San Francisco State and I lived in the dorms, and he got a job as in the cafeteria. So he started making friends with my friends, and he got known on campus, and people would say, "Oh, hi, Joe, you want to ride, Joe?" And he learned how to take the bus to my dorm and used to just show up on a Saturday. And if I wasn't there, other people would hang out with him. And I saw him change. He started getting a lot happier. And he's gone. And Joe started coming to my parents' house for the holidays. This is his birthday. Who's that?
That's my mother.
Who's that over there?
Papa, yeah.
My mother became his mother, and my grandpa became his grandpa, and we just all kind of adopted each other.
How happy was Joe when he first made new friends?
How happy were you, Joe?
I'm not sure.
Were you very happy?
Yeah.
Okay, all of a sudden, he didn't really talk about the sun and the moon and the stars that much. He started talking about my
And
mom.
summer too. Summer too. It was rain up there.
That's great.
Yeah.
He started talking more about his friends and his family and things like that. Go on.
There's Peter, yeah.
There. That's
There's Peter, yeah.
that's Joe and his friends from his job at Fresh Choice. So Joe, you want to tell people about your job?
I do potato, egg, and salt pepper.
Joe works at Fresh Choice. He has worked there for about 6 years, and he does.
And I did that one too. You know, fresh order mom. He told me that too.
Yeah. He has. Well, we'll show you more pictures of Fresh Choice, but you can go on.
Right.
These are some of his friends from Fresh Choice. They're having a party.
Right. There's Peter, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so with friends came a sense of belonging. This is Joe with some friends on a trip.
But there's Peter, yeah.
Joe going down the hill really fast. That was really fun.
Right.
What's that?
They came out. Tuesday.
Goofy. Where is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe all of a sudden has money, so he can go on trips.
There's Peter,
That was camping.
there's Peter,
Sitting by the campfire, camping.
there's Peter.
Okay, and Joe moved.
What's that, Rita?
This is Marin County. This is where Joe lives now. He was sick and tired. In his case, he didn't like living in the city. It was too many sirens, and it was too far.
They do run cottage too.
Yeah, to do it. Sirens.
And Henry.
Yeah. So he moved to Marin County where it was sunny and where he could live in a nice neighborhood and walk around safely. And
then I'm going again.
yeah, and he's a regular in his neighborhood. And this is him at the coffee stand. This is Scott, Joe.
Yeah.
And he's a regular in the coffee shop there, and he's got his picture on the wall and everything. Okay.
There's Peter.
So you want to explain what you're doing?
Tail, full paper.
Yeah, it's a paper on the potatoes. Joe makes, I would say, probably about $7 an hour. He is a regular employee of Fresh Choice. He's not a...
See one coming at that rich.
And, Joe doesn't work in a group, he works by himself, and he doesn't really have a job coach that much. We kind of help him in the beginning, kind of help him at the end, but we come in and out, and he works alongside his coworkers on his own. They support him. all year. In 1995, he made $1,279. And in 1999, he made $1,608. That's pretty good. And he likes to spend his money on movies, shopping, so for him, that's a lot of money. That buys a lot of movies, a lot of Cokes, and a lot of newspapers and TV guides and things that he likes to buy. So I'm actually going to wait for him to come back. Well, let's see. Okay, I'll just move on a little bit. Does anybody have a question while we're waiting for Joe? Yes?
Yeah, I got one comment.
A comment? Okay.
No, I just have a question.
Okay.
How long did it take them to get used to this? To this landform?
You know what? I've been Joe for 17 years, and to be honest, I think it's taken 17 years. It's not easy when you have one sort of life to go to another life. It's really hard, and I've noticed it's been very gradual. It didn't happen overnight, that's for sure. Yes? Yes.
Well, what? I learned these doctors, and I mean, they kind of you that, drug use,
Yeah.
That's why you say, listen, it's like we're people.
I know. She said, why don't doctors listen? Why do they say, take this drug, take that drug?
We say, yeah, it gets on with it.
I know. That's just, I think it's getting better, but I know it's still a problem.
Oh, I gotta tell them, I know all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, next one. Yeah. So Joe is, I'm going to get you after that, all right? I won't forget. Joe's not so stressed out about food anymore. That's getting a lot better because he's used to having money now. He's used to going to restaurants, and he's used to having good food. So he doesn't feel like he has to rush, and he doesn't feel like he has to pig out because now he knows that he's going to get another good meal in a few hours. So it's not a big deal. He's getting better about that. Joe has increased his language. He has a much better vocabulary because he has more stuff to talk about now. Now he knows different things like about his day, about his friends, and things like that. So he has more to talk about with people. Where's that? Do you know? That's at the movies. Joe used to go to the movies maybe once in a while. Now he goes every Monday. But he used to say, I used to say, what was the movie about? And he'd say, I don't know, Man and the Lady. But now he can actually tell me what the movie was about because he has the words to tell me. Like he'll say, he just said he saw Harry Potter and he said, oh, it was about the boy that hangs on his broom. He can describe movies to me because he's got more vocabulary. Yeah, you look real happy there. Joe loves Disneyland, and thank you to the Regional Center for helping him because he got to go to Disneyland yesterday. Disneyland is the best place jokes, but now he has a really good sense of humor, and that's him dressed like the devil. Joe, who's that?
Kathy, that's my joke.
That's Joe's girlfriend. And when I first met Joe, you know how, I don't know if you know, sometimes when people have been abused, if you touch them like this, they jump, they get kind of scared all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what Joe used to be like, and he didn't like to hug, and he didn't like to be touched. And now he's got a girlfriend, that's him kissing his girlfriend. He likes to hug, he likes to hug.
Hey, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Joe has much better Joe has much better health now. That's the nurse that works with him, and he just had angioplasty, and he's going to get his cataracts done, and he's getting a lot of
No, general.
yeah, and he's getting a lot of help with his health, which is very important, and people take it seriously. Whereas before, he used to complain, and people say, "Oh, be quiet, Joe, be quiet." They didn't really listen. But now they do. Joe still has goals. He wants to move into his own apartment, and that's something that he's working
You know
on.
what? Just don't make a noise every time.
Yeah,
Every day on 105.
that's right. And so that's probably something that even though
You talk to it, or I get you?
no, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So Joe, tell me how old you are.
60.
He's 60 years old, but he still has a lot of things he wants to do with his life. And moving out is one of the things, a big one. So that's our story. That's Joe's story.
saying, be quiet and all this stuff like that. I didn't really hurt Joe a lot because he wanted to talk about what was going on, and they just don't want to, listen to him. I think any of that kind of behavior would really make a person feel bad.
That's true. Joe, did you hear that? If your people tell you to be quiet all the time, it makes you feel bad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Does Joe know if we have any wonderful visitors? No?
We don't know. She said, does Joe know if he has any brothers and sisters? And we don't know. He never had any visits or anybody ever come back and see him.
Yeah. That's your leadership.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of too.
I want to call you, thank you for calling Joe because you're a really nice person, and that's it. I think you can stand you.
Thank you. for a condo that she bought last year. So with that, next to Chris, Dina Singleton. Dina's worked with Creative Support Alternatives for a long time, really long time, and coordinates Chris's team with Chris. And on Chris's team, Brenda, who's sitting over here in the gray, and Chantel in the green shirt, who are also part of Chris's support team, and who helped pull this all off and got up here and did the traveling and all of that good stuff. So just to tell you, just for a minute or so you have a context of what Chris is going to say here as far as her supported living part. Our organization is connected to San Diego State University and San Diego State University Foundation. We are a very small organization, very intentionally. We assist 14 people, all of whom live in homes of their choosing, half of whom are now homeowners. We've been trying to do, we're really proud of that. We've been trying to figure out how to, much like Lisa and Joe, how to walk with people over time, how to stick by people. When Joe was talking about I have people, Chris has people. I have people, because Chris is one of them. Trying to figure out how people need to be supported as they age, as they develop new dreams, as they throw away old dreams or they achieve them. So trying to do that the way that we found that works for us, and it doesn't look the same in everybody's house, of course, but it's looking at a team. So Chris has Dina, Brenda, Chantel, Pam, Kay, Shireen. She has a team of about 8 women, and I'm busting in that all the time, who provide support to her, with her, on a regular basis. Some people are really good at making really good meals. They're part of the ones that come in the evening and help Chris with the dinner routine. Some people are good at helping her at the community college. Other people are technology whizzes. Everyone has their gift. And so Chris has assembled, along with Dina's support, a team that works for her at this point in her life. Now, what her team will look like 5 years from now, who knows? But that idea of a team, I think, is real important, because one of the things I keep hearing from people here is that people need people. We all need people. And when you rely on one person or one place, life can get pretty scary if that falls apart for whatever reason. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris. Chris has got the Dynavox mic, so hopefully that's going to be fine for you. I'm going to also go ahead and put it up on the overhead, and I'll try to keep up with you, Chris, and not mess it up. Okay. Chris.
Huh? I need to change the overhead so we have okay. Okay.
Hi, my name is Chris Dixon. Today I would like to share some
I was still in the nursing home. We communicated with Mary Ellen, asking me questions and me looking up her yes and shaking my head for both because I was still too sick to use my communication board.
Chris had a problem. Dynavox jumped ahead. We're just going to back up a second. Is that what you're doing, Dina? Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
But I was frustrated and unhappy. I knew the people in the group don't care a lot about me. I could tell. But I felt like I was being worked to death. Everything was a program, goals, objectives, class. In a class that was supposed to teach me how to drink from the cup. That made me feel real bad. In late 1992, my case manager, Todd, put in the referral for supported living services for me. I said yes, but I was afraid. I told the lady in the group home that I really wanted to move out and live on my own. Life in the group home was not good for me. But in February 1993, I became very ill very fast. But in February 1993, I became very ill very fast. I was hospitalized for 2.5 months. I lost 25 pounds. The doctors cut me open. I had a tube in my belly and that's how I ate. I could not even use my words or to communicate. It was awful. When I was in the hospital, Tom asked Mary Ellen to come and meet me. I thought, who is this Mary Ellen? And he was. Tom said she was with an agency called Creative Support Alternatives that helps people to live on their own. I got to know her a little bit visiting in the hospital. She tried to help me to leave my mouth out because some of the nurses were still afraid I would choke. She took me outside for fresh air. I got hauled out because we did not, though I was supposed to stay in isolation. After I recovered from my illness somewhat, I had to be placed in nursing home because of medical reasons. Again, there was another hole in the rules, and again, this was not by my choice. I was afraid when I got there. But again, I guess I adjusted. Overall, the people there were pretty nice. They took good care of me, but I knew I did not want to spend my life there. It was a very old place with lots of old people and it made me pretty sad. They did not want me to leave, and some of them said I could never make it on my own. They did not want me to leave, and some of them said I could never make it on my own. Mary Ellen talked with me and told me I would not have to spend my life there. She helped me to plan for my own apartment. I wanted a roommate to help me and for company, too. We made room in ads and flyers while I was still in the nursing home.
our rules of the house together. I went places where I wanted. Sure, we disagreed sometimes, and sometimes it was hard, but that's part of the movies. We lived in the third floor apartment from July 1993 to August 1996, so I learned how to use the elevator by myself. I ate what I wanted, when I wanted, and the food in my stomach was suitable. I went shopping for what I really wanted to eat. I liked to buy different kinds of TV dinners, and I liked all kinds of sweets. I also like to eat different things for breakfast. I kept up with my packing and shopping, and I get my privacy when I need it. I like watching old movie classics on cable TV. In late August 1996, Maggie, her baby, who was my newest roommate, and I moved from Claremont to Rancho San Diego. I was ready for a change of scenery, so we all decided to move together. I really liked my new apartment, but I needed another change. In March of 97, I did a big change. That was to leave Mickey and me. Something inside of me told me to go and make a new home for myself. For 2 months, I stayed with Mary Ellen Ordino United their goals. Then in May 97, I moved into a new apartment. While I was looking for a new roommate, I met one woman, Pat, that helped me with my dinner and got me ready for bed. And I came in the morning and she assisted me with breakfast and dressed me for my day. Then I started staying by myself with a service called Lifeline. Lifeline allows me to push a button that's near my bed and calls for help if I need it. I continued taking classes over and over. I took a class at SDSU called Disability and Society. I even did a presentation to the students. About 200 of them and shared my story. I also went to Clearnecker Community College. In the summer, I took swimming classes at Rosemont College. I volunteered at a convalescent hospital. I would go around and be friends with the people, and I demonstrate how their project should look in arts and crafts. In the fall of 97, I was a teacher's assistant in the French class at SDSU. In the fall of 97, I was a teacher's assistant in the French class at SDSU. This was a real job in which I was paid a long time goal of mine. Sure, I could be working in the day program.
Dynavox. But as all of you know, or anyone knows that's ever tried to program a VCR or work a new piece of technology, there's always things that can go wrong. Thank you, Chris, with that.
Steps to homeownership. I had to prove I had good credit. With support, I went to see a credit counselor, trying to figure out what kind of loan I might qualify for. I had to collect a year's worth of bill statements proving I paid my bills on time. With support, I saved money towards my own payments. Every month I put money into my savings account. At home, I saved money by being frugal. I went to a home buyer's education seminar on Saturday for 8 hours with Mary Ellen. I earned a certificate for successfully completing the seminar. I am a founding active member of the Housing Coalition of San Diego County. The coalition helped me to get grant money that helped towards the purchase of my condo. We meet monthly. Each person has something different to contribute. Self-advocates, agency support people, consumer credit counselors, lenders, family members, real estate professionals, and others. I looked at potential condos with my realtor, Stella Barrett, and my support team, until I found the right one. Chris makes the paper. From the San Diego Regional Center's 2000 annual report. Chris moved into her condo this past year and proved to herself and many others that any obstacles to home ownership can be overcome. Chris has lived in many living situations, but her independence and individual privacy of owning her own place is her greatest reward. Chris further adds that if you're thinking about owning your own home, get help in finding out what the process of home ownership is. For a while, I've dreamed of owning a place of my own, and being on the Housing Coalition has helped me to understand the process and capable. Reflections. Inspired by the storybook, The Little Engine That Could. I thought I could dream. I do. I thought Mary Ellen and others would help me. They did. I thought it would be hard to save all the money and stay on a budget. It was. I thought I would have to learn new things. I did. I thought I could be independent. I am. I thought people would listen. They do. I thought I could ask for more activities, a vacation, a new bathroom floor, a computer, and luggage for traveling. I can. I thought my friends would stay on my team. They did. I thought I could. I thought I could. I thought I could. Final thoughts. If you're thinking of living on your own, try it. If you're thinking of owning your own home, you can do it with the right kind of help.
Jump in here for a second. Chris has a couple of pictures up here that show her budget, what it was back in 1992. How many people live on student mentality of double coupons and hit the sales and catch the estate sales and yard sales and all that stuff. So what's happened, on top of that, I need to give Chris a lot of credit because she's probably the best, the most disciplined person I know when it comes to living on a budget. I'm going to have Chris counsel a couple of my relatives. I think I'm living on a budget. She knows how to do it. She knows how to do it. The budget that I don't have up here is the money that we pulled together for Chris to buy her condo, because people say, how do you buy a condo in San Diego on SSI? The reality is that because of Chris's participation on the Homeownership Coalition, and a number of us sit on that on a regular basis, we were able to get quite a few grants that are helping to buy down the mortgage. So instead of getting a mortgage for, say, $100,000, you can get a mortgage for maybe $50,000. In Chris's case, her monthly budget is $712 a month is her SSI. That's what she counts on. Her mortgage is only $225. Okay, and again, are there lots and lots of really great properties out there that are low priced? No. But how many did Chris need? Right? Just one. That's all. Just one. And two other folks in our agency have bought in the last 18 months, and another one is just starting the process this week. And when I say starting, I mean putting his application in the bank. He's been working towards it for a year. So it's possible. Chris and Dina, when they put together the little engine that could thing, it reminded me of how inspired I was at about age 6 to think that that little engine could accomplish all that good stuff. I think of Chris that way, so it was a really good story for her to pick as a takeoff, as a metaphor. Because what we know as a team is that if we had said this will never work, I can guarantee you it will never work. Right? But what we kept saying was, gee, I don't know how it's going to work. And we just kept at it. Chris, being a founding member of the Housing Coalition, took the longest. It took, 4 or 5 years we sat on the coalition, right, Chris, before we actually made a deal. But now people are making deals faster. They're getting ready faster. We know how to do it better. But in her budget, she pays $225 for her mortgage, and the homeowners association fee, which you pay when you live in a condo, is $150. On top of that, Chris is on, and most of you are eligible, if not all of you are eligible for the low-income rates for gas and electric, for the telephone. When it says the trust is paying for the cable, Chris has a special needs trust, and I want to clarify that that's not supporting her. That's simply paying it's a little bit of money that a family member puts in there to pay for her Cox cable, which is sort of a quality of life thing, and also her Lifeline emergency system. So together, those things are maybe $50 a month. Chris doesn't have a huge trust fund because it's easy for people to say, wow, sure, she's a millionaire. It's easy to do that. But Chris is not a millionaire. Other things that we're looking at, Chris and Dina worked real hard. The property taxes, you own your own home, you owe property taxes, right? Chris has come to about $650 a year, but after living in her place a full year, she's now on the list to have what's called a deferred property tax, means she never pays it. When it gets paid is when she sells her condo or when she passes away. And so Chris, well, if you sell it, you're upgrading, and if you pass away, who cares? Right? So we're figuring out all these nifty little ways to save money now and to have a good life now, and have the stability of being a homeowner. We were at a conference, like I mentioned earlier, a couple of weeks ago, and one of the neat things about that is that people all over the country are doing that. And I was at a conference on Monday. Chris wasn't at this particular one with me, but they're figuring it out in different places around California. California is one of the most expensive places to live. San Diego has been rated, I believe it's the 8th least affordable place to live in the United States, which means it's the 8th most expensive. You know, Silicon Valley, New York City, San Francisco, some of those places are above us. But
Orange County.
It's gotten extraordinarily expensive. And one of the things that we're really excited about is that just like support services guarantee a place for people in the community, as part of the community, owning your own place guarantees it pretty much forever. We know that Chris will not have to leave San Diego because she can't afford the rent. She has her own condo. Yeah, let's go ahead and take that down, and we'll just, Chris, do you want to scoot over and show a couple slides? She's got a few slides she wanted to show you, just kind of showing what's going on at her condo. I'll take about 5 more minutes, and then I think we'll wrap up or ask if anyone has any questions. Chris, you can scoot right up there. Put that out of the way.
Do you have any questions?
You good? This fellow here is Bob the Notary. It's become his permanent name. One of the ways when we worked with the bank for Chris to buy her place was looking at ways for people to make reasonable accommodations. So rather than Chris running all over town, sometimes people that we were doing business with were able to come to her apartment. And that fellow did and assisted her to understand some of the things that she was signing. Brenda and Chris spent a lot of time doing lots of paperwork. Which made them crazy. There's no recovery. That was only a portion of it. Chris ended up with volumes of paperwork. It was unbelievable. Moving day, everyone's looking really happy. You see, they go, all right. That's because it was about 3 o'clock at that point, and we were waiting for the last piece of funding to get the approval. And if it didn't get funded by 5 o'clock, we were all thinking we were sleeping in the U-Haul van. So, because Chris's stuff was already in there. So, we took it right down to the wire, but it actually closed by 5 o'clock, and we were all really tired. That picture's a little bit dark, but that's Stella Barrett, who Chris referred to in her earlier speech. A real estate agent who's both a personal friend as well as a very committed member of our housing coalition. Stella has kind of made it her personal mission to help people with disabilities buy homes, and so she's been really instrumental in helping folks to get good deals and take good care of those. She helped Kyle, who we support, to close a deal in November. Now he's in his own condo too. That was key day, Chris getting her keys on the day we moved, which is a really exciting day. We had a Kodak moment. I just add to, they're in the process of updating Chris's photos, making them digital, and her place looks totally different. That was on the first day we were just moving things in. She's painted and decorated and done all kinds of neat things to make it look hers, like hers. This neighborhood, one of the things that Chris was looking for, like a lot of folks who have mobility difficulties, you want a lot of stuff close by where you live. So the bank, Taco Bell, Ripkeys, all kinds of things that Chris uses on a regular basis are really close to her. So that's 2nd Street, and she lives a block or 2 off, so it's nice. She's off the busy street, but has access to all of that stuff that she needs on a regular basis. I bet you wonder how I took that while I was driving, right? Don't tell anybody. Chris's condo. Chris's condo is actually an older complex. It's about 30 years old, but very, very well maintained. And one of the nice things that really caught our eye about it is because it is older, the trees are all mature, the landscaping's beautiful. It's a really nice place, and they just painted the whole exterior of it. Another shot of the grounds. Another thing is it's kind of like a built-in little community there. There are 1-bedroom condos, 2 bedrooms, 3-bedroom, like little garden houses. And the pathway that you see there, Chris doesn't have her power chair right now with her today. Her van is in the shop. Life gets complicated when you use a wheelchair, you know. But that pathway is something that Chris enjoys and takes walks out and visits the neighbors, the neighborhood cats, and they all know her. Got a great pool there, and also a community room. Chris has gone to some of the board of directors meetings of our homeowners association too, so she's tuning them into the needs of folks who have mobility impairments. They haven't figured out the parking problem. In a condo, the parking spaces are kind of small, and so for Chris's van, which has a side lift, it's a real problem getting in and out, so we've been working on that. I think she's in the only complex in all of San Diego County that still has shuffleboard courts. Another shot. online support services. I think there are days when you just go, I can't do it anymore. It's too hard. I'm too frustrated. I want to give up. There's not enough money. There's not enough this. There's not enough that. And one of the neat things about stopping and celebrating, I think, is it gives people a chance to recognize that, we really have made a lot of progress. I mean, look at the story that Joe shared earlier about where people have come from, and I know Chris has friends that have come through those same halls, So it's nice to just stop and really not only count our blessings, but really celebrate what people have accomplished in their lives. This is Chris's condo. Pretty close to today, huh? You actually do have more furniture than I do at the desk. But she set it up the way she wants it. I decorated the way she wants it. That's Pam, who's been on Chris's team for a long time. And they work real closely. Pam not only is associated with us, but she's also associated with the community college that Chris goes to. So Chris sees her in both places. Chris has been making accommodations in her house. She just recently moved her TV to a different setup. But she can operate it with her hand, but she also uses the remote control, so she can do the princess thing and lay in bed and watch TV and eat truffles. And Chris decorated, I think there's a better shot of the bathroom. One of the things that Chris was real adamant about was that she wanted a pink bathroom. That's her bedroom, and the bathroom adjoins right there. Go ahead, Chris. And Chris picked up pink, she picked up pink. I call it Barbie doll pink, that's what it reminds me. It's a great place. And one of the neat things was so many newer buildings are so inaccessible. This place is 30 years old, and the only thing that we needed to do, that bathroom door was widened, and we called in a favor from a good friend of ours, actually her dad. And he came over and in an hour and a half had widened and squared away, and Brenda is on the painting committee as well as the technology group. So they did a lot of decorating. This is Bird's Sonny, and since we are one big family, Brenda's husband is now Sonny's foster dad. I think that's how it works. Sonny lives in a couple of households. Chris not only likes throwing parties for herself, she throws parties for other people at every opportunity. This was for Sarah Marie, who's the one that's obviously pregnant in the front there. I mean in the front of the picture, I don't mean pregnant in the front. Sarah Marie also works with us and has an 8-month-old now. This picture was obviously taken 8 months ago. And that's what we call one of the girls' parties. All the girls in the agency, leave all the guys out. Let all the girls. And Chris threw a great party, threw her a really nice baby shower. More cake. There's a theme here. And finally, that picture actually is an older picture. That was taken back in '95 when Chris and Dean and I went to the TASH conference that was up in San Francisco. We saw all those really cool decorations and we couldn't resist posing there. But one of the things that picture reminds me of is that when we went to that conference back in '95, we marveled at how far Chris had come in 3 short years. And now when I look at the pictures today and think in 9 years what Chris has accomplished, that's really why I say she's one of my heroes. Thanks for listening, and if anyone has any questions or comments,
standing in the spotlight on such a perfect night, knowing that you're out there listening. I remember one time when I was so afraid, didn't think I had the courage to stand up on this stage. And you reached into my heart and you found the melody. And if there ever was somebody who made me believe in me, it was you. It was you. It was your song that made me sing. It was your voice that gave me wings. And it was your light that shined, guiding my heart to find this place where I belong. It was your song. Every night I pray before the music starts to play that I'll do my best and I won't let you down. And for all the times I've stood here, this feeling feels brand new. And anytime I doubt myself, I think of you. 'Cause it was your song that made me sing. It was your voice that gave me wings. And it was your light that shined this place where I belong. It was your song. Dreams can come true. God's great angels like you. It was your
Oh, I'm not sure I can peek after that. There's some good people there. I think I like them too. Actually, I think I love them. That's the reason I keep going every day, you guys, because of you. I couldn't get up in the morning if it wasn't for you guys. Well, let's talk about self-determination. How many of you guys know what self-determination is? Well, that's a good sign.
You get it yourself.
You just do it yourself, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's deal with that.
You get up off your butt, do it.
We're really not that different after all. I think that's where it actually starts, is that we're not so different. One of the things that our society seems to is to want to, I guess the word is segregate us from other things, other people. They want to put us over here, and while the community is out here doing all kinds of things. We want to be a part of that. We're not different. We're not different at all. We just might be a little slower picking up on things. Who cares? You're a human being with the rights that you have, equal rights. Okay? That means anything that Larry's doing on that computer, you could do also. How many believe that? Yeah. Okay. I have these cards in my pocket, but I forgot to look at them. I forgot where I put them. Okay. Oh, here they are. Okay. I want to tell you guys a story. Okay with that? I really like stories a lot. So, this story is about a boy who wants to play ball. He wants to play on a team. But his legs don't work as well as yours and mine do. Okay? So, what does he do? He starts pumping weight so his legs can get faster and so he can run. And he does it every single day. Okay? And he tries out for the team and he makes it. And his mom's like, oh my God, I don't think you should do this. I don't think it's a very good idea. And he was like, why not? She goes, well, you know them boys are faster than you are. You know them boys are faster. He said, I want to play ball. So, he goes to his first practice, okay? And he finds out that he is not as fast as the other boys. And he comes home, he's a little down, sitting on his bed, and his mom comes in and says, you know, you don't have to do this now. You can just play another sport. You know, I love you, you don't have to do that. So he got up, went outside, picked up a ball, and the bat, threw the ball up in the air, started hitting the ball. And he goes real far. And he continued to do it. And then he started pumping weights with his arms. And he'd go to the batting cages. And he constantly was hitting the ball, hitting the ball, hitting the ball, hitting the ball. His first game came, and it was his turn to bat. And his mom was out on the field. Well, isn't that embarrassment in itself? Okay? You don't have to do this crying in the whole works, okay? You know them boys are faster than you are. You know that. And he said, that's right, they are. He said, but if I hit the ball the furthest, I don't have to run the fastest. You see, it's the ability, not the disability. I said that right? Yes, I did. Okay. We all want to play ball. We all want to play ball. And we know that we have some kind of a disability that might stop us from running or running the fastest or hitting the ball the furthest, one or the other. Okay? But we have the ability to play. I think what I look at is we need to own our own piece of the American pie. Let's play ball. Who's willing to play ball? I am. I like ball. Okay? So, I mean, the first thing that I feel that we need to do is take the risk. I mean, here it is, right here, you guys. Risk. Know what you want, put it in your IPP. Tell everybody your dreams.
What does IPP?
Oh, Lord. Who's your service coordinator, honey? Tell me what an IPP is, Larry.
Program planner, person-centered plan now, really.
Okay? When they come out and have the meetings with you, sit down, and you don't let them tell you what you want. If anybody here is letting anybody tell them what you want, please give me a call. You tell them what you want. Okay? full time. Yes.
Sam, get that one away. This guy.
Oh, what's my drink? Let me see. Only in Home Depot.
Only in Home Depot. Melissa, what is your dream?
My dream is to make more money in my job.
All right, I can deal with that. Holly, what's your dream?
My dream is to get a job and learn how to drive too.
Woo, good. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, let's hear your dream back there. What's your dream? Huh? And then what's your dream?
Be a military.
Michelle, what's your dream?
So I can understand the book.
All right. Over here. What is your dream?
My dream is how to do my coupon.
Right, what?
My coupon.
What do you want to do? You want to buy a Google?
Yeah.
Oh! Okay, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
What is your dream? Okay, working on cameras. All right, anybody else? Am I missing anybody? Sharon, what is yours?
My dream is to be rich someday and own a home in the desert country.
Woo! All right, come over here. And I see all kinds of hands. What is your dream? To what? To learn about God and live for Him? That's a good one. That's a good one. Sheree, what's your dream? That's a dream. You never got it over there. What is your dream?
I want to be successful in life.
In life?
Yeah.
That's a big one, I'll tell you. Peter, what is your dream?
To help others and to be self-advocacy, to help others.
That's a good one. Is that one? I want to hear Yvonne. Yvonne, what is your dream?
I'd like to help other people more and help them advocate for themselves.
Ooh, that's a good one. What is your dream? Although I asked you once, I'll ask you again. Go ahead.
My dream is that I'm getting more used to my college classes.
Well, that's a good one. So you can get used to your college.
I have another one.
Oh, another one. Okay. Listen, you guys, getting off on the dreams now. Hold on. What is your dream?
I like to help and also to be a teacher for disabled.
She wants to be a teacher for the disabled. I think that's great. What is your dream?
I would like to go into supported living and eventually independent living.
All right. Robin's got a dream? Oh. Robin, I know what your dream is. To marry that man you were talking about today. Oh, that's all right. Melissa, what is your dream?
To own my own pet shop.
Woo! Pet shop. Now that you guys have done that, check it out. Everybody in this room, I don't care if you gave me a dream or if you didn't, clap for yourself. Go on, what happened? All these dreams can come true. All of them. We're talking about risk. Know what you want and put it in your IDP. Responsibilities. Now, okay, you guys. We have our dreams. We know what we want. We want to play ball. It's obvious. So we're going to fight for everything we want. Now we got to take responsibility. Responsibility. What is that? What is responsibility?
Pay bills on time.
Ooh, yeah, we're getting there.
There's no action.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Responsibility means that it's up to you to make that decision. It's up to you to decide whether you want or not.
Where you want to live?
Whether you live or you want to die.
Well, I mean, we can make that choice, want to live or want to die. I choose, just get out, because I've been there, done that, thank you very much, and you are left with nothing. Okay?
Be patient with them and
Right.
be patient with
Saying, this is what I want to do, will you work with me with it? Not like, this is what I'm going to do, and forget whatever. Okay? You need to work side by side with the persons that are involved in your, thank you, Larry, in your case. What, in your IPP, what's your dream? What are the things that you want in your life? The quality of your life. Not of Larry's, not of John's, not of Judah's, not of Renee's. The quality of your life. This is your life. And you guys can make it whatever you want to be. It to be. Whatever, what? You want your own room? You got God in your room? Jeez. Well, when he's finished with your room, can you tell him to come on down to mine? I would like to talk to him too. Okay, so I'm asking you guys, okay, here we go. Working side by side with people you trust. What does that mean, with people you trust? Who is that?
It means that work with people who care about you.
Yeah, that you know that they're not going to lie to you. They're going to tell you, well, I really don't think you're ready for this right now. Okay? You trust your friends, don't you?
Yes.
Okay? And you know which ones not to trust, right?
Yes.
Okay? Right. Right. So, we have to have the responsibilities. And we have a couple of responsibilities that we always look forward to. And that's writing your check for the rent. Okay, paying gas, electric, lights, telephone bill. And for you who that are got more money than most of us, the cable that has DSL on it. With the computer. Okay? We have to pay them bills. We need a roof over our head. We need food in our stomach. We need to drink water. We need to be clean. Hygiene. That's my favorite subject, you know. Because for some reason, and how many will agree with me here? People with disabilities, including myself, have a hard time with hygiene. That means put a deodorant on under the arms. Remember to do that when you're running out the door. Oh, wait, I forgot the deodorant. Oh, I'll use it tomorrow. And then you stink on it. Everybody's like, man, I just don't want you around today. How many? Oh, my raise your hand. Let me see how many run out the door and forget the deodorant. Come on, I know your life. Yeah, look at hands up, yeah. Okay? How many forget they're running out the door and they forget to brush their teeth in the morning? And raise your hand, you guys, because I know which ones are lying. I'm raising my hand. It's me. It's me. Because I forgot to do it today. Okay? These are responsibilities that we need to take care of so we can keep our job. I've been fired 5 times from this week already. Kathy has fired me 5 times this week for not putting deodorant on. Thank God I'm the boss. Responsibilities. Them are some of your responsibilities. Not only that, you guys, listen, we think about safety, okay? Because safety is a major part in this too. If you're not safe, how can you have self-determination? If you're not safe, you're going against medical advice because you didn't brush your teeth and you get sick. Okay? Responsibility means safety as well. Without safety, you have
love this one. Sam, you have to pay the consequences for that. I'm like, me? Wait a second. I did not speed, officer. We're going 85 and a 40 hour zone. What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Speed citation.
I am. I'm going to get a ticket. I'm going to get a ticket. Darn. I honestly want to tell you I haven't got a speeding ticket yet. But guess what? Thank you. Thank you very much for having faith in me, you guys. I have got the worst ticket. Can everybody guess what it is? No. Hall of Famer got that one. What's a 211? DUI. Come on, you guys. The first thing are you supposed to do when you get in the car? And the cop pulled me over and says, why aren't you wearing your seatbelt? I said, because I don't like it. And he handed me the ticket and he goes, you won't like this either. Consequences. I don't like wearing a seatbelt. Well, here, pay a $180 ticket for not wearing. You don't think I don't wear my seatbelt? I still don't. I call these consequences the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because there's good consequences. There are really good consequences. We know what a bad one is. You speed, you get a ticket. You don't pay your rent, what happens? Somebody tell me. Get out! You're out of there! You're not going to let you live here. Okay? Hey, this is a good one. What if you don't pay your light bill? Hey, you use a candle. Can anybody tell me what a good consequences is?
Pay the bill.
Pay the bill. If you pay the bill, what happens?
You get your light back.
You get your lights on. Yeah. Anybody else give me a good consequences? Good consequences. Okay, Paul? Pay him rent to get to stay. Yes. Oh, you guys are getting good. Good consequences. The guy in the back, way up there. What's a good consequences? I can't wear a seatbelt? You get killed. Oh, that's good. That's not no good consequences. Definitely a bad consequence. But you're absolutely right. If I don't pay attention and wear my seatbelt, you know, an accident happens, boom, I could die. That would be a really bad consequences. That's true. Okay, then anybody else can give me a good consequence? A Christmas bonus? That's a good consequences. So, who said that? Who raised their hand? Christmas bonus, check this out. This is really, really good. So listen up. You worked really hard at your job. And they gave you a Christmas bonus. That's a good consequences. Yes. Free turkey. I want a free turkey. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We can have that, can't we, you guys? We can have the good, we can have the bad, and we can have it real ugly. Yes.
A good consequence for you having your wife get his record clear from the police.
Very good, Robin. She still wants to be a rock and some of your IPP, put it in your IPP. I just keep saying, put it in your IPP. Tell them all, get it going. Okay? I'm going to tell you guys a story. I love stories, so you might get 2 or 3. I need some water. And I'll die on you later.
You're fired on that.
That one. So you're fired.
Yeah, I've been fired many times. Oh, can somebody give me some more water? Or let me drink this one. I get so excited, you guys. Look what you do to me. Don't worry about my blood pressure. What's yours today? How's it sound when I cough into the mic? Is that cool?
Unprofessional.
It sounds professional?
Yeah, it's unprofessional. Not appropriate.
It's cool.
I think you
Did you say not appropriate?
right.
Oh my gosh. Miss Professional over there. I don't listen to that kind of talk. Okay. I ain't dying. I'm just taking a few minute break. My story. Where you going, Lisa? I'm telling. I just wanted to take a few more minutes, so I just tried. There was this Down syndrome man, woman, they wanted to get married. I'm going to tell you right now, John, I had to take a break. Feel better now. And this couple wanted to get married, so they did. Now, they also wanted to have a child right away. And so they kept trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. And she couldn't get pregnant. So they went to the doctor, and the doctor was, well, I hate to interrupt this, but I can't talk while these guys are like filming. So it just interrupts me, and I can't finish the story, so I'll just wait. I just can't do it, sorry. No, I have a problem with concentration. It's one of my favorite things. Okay, so anyways, they went to the doctor, and the doctor says,
You can't have a baby.
well, no, he hadn't said that yet. But, you know, they were doing a whole bunch of tests, and she went to her parents' house. To her mom's house, and they were sitting there, and he even told her. She told her mother. You know, me and Jimmy have been trying to have a baby, and I just can't get pregnant. I just can't do it. And her mother said to her, remember when I told you when you were a little bit younger that Dad takes something out of your skin? She said, yes. She said, well, you can't have any children. And devastation, total devastation came upon her and her husband. And she said when they got home, I want you to get a divorce because I want you to be happy. I want you to have children. And he said, if you can live with a hole in your belly, I can live with a hole in my heart. So they were so in love, they decided, okay, so we can have a baby. We'll adopt one. And they went to the regional center, died. They'll adopt them out until they die. And that's what they did. They called them up to the eldest little girl. Now, she's not going to live very long because she has a bad heart. And they said, oh no, we'll take her. So they did. Okay? And they loved that baby. And they took care of that baby. And they loved that baby. And they took care of that baby. And they got that baby well enough to have the heart surgery. And then the baby made it through the heart surgery. And then the baby was 5 years old. And then the hospital called up and said, bring that baby back to us. We're going to give it to normal parents. Can you believe that they took care of this baby? They loved it. They nurtured it. They took care of this beautiful baby. 5 years old now. This baby is 5 years old and it is healthy. Of course, when they say, bring it back, we're going to give it to normal parents. Well, normal parents couldn't take care of that child. So they give it to somebody who could do nothing but love a child. That mother and that father took that baby, and they walked into the court, and they both stood in front of that judge, and they said, you know what? You gave us this baby. We gave this baby life. We took care of this baby. We nurtured this baby. We gave this baby life, and I refuse to give that baby back to you. And guess what the judge said? You're absolutely right. Take that baby and go home. Yes. I believe in you. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here right now telling you guys these things. I believe that you guys have whatever it takes and more. Self-determination is not about me. It's about you and you. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you.
Everybody.
It's about everybody in this room. And not one person is it the same. I like jokes. You guys like jokes? I'm not really sure right now, though. I'm in the mood. You guys. Yeah. I'm trying to say something without losing it here, you guys. Let's don't give in to what they think we can't do. Let's show them what we have. What is it that makes us keep going every day? What is it? Right.
It's a heart.
Right. Thank you. Today I stand before you guys, and tomorrow I may not be here at all. But promise me that you are not going to just throw in everything and say, take care of me. You know? I want you guys to stand up and say, I want to Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. I believe in each one of you. You believe in you. And if I believe in you, and you believe in you, and Kathy believes in you, and Larry believes in you, how can you go wrong? How can you go wrong?
Can't go wrong.
No. Today, and it's 2:19, it's almost time for me to stop. Getting ready. Yeah. I just have to stay on time because I never said sorry.
When I was younger, there were a lot of people that told me that I couldn't do things, and that made me more determined to do it.
It does too. It does. Let somebody try to tell me not to do something.
Might think that that's not what you do it, but you do it anyway.
Oh, I love it. You can't do that. The curls in the back of my hair really start sticking up and going like this, you know? You can't do that. Watch me.
It keeps you running up so you can do it.
Self-determination, you guys. Doesn't mean you have to be completely independent. That's not what I'm saying. Self-determination is about whatever it is that makes you happy. It's not about the money. Screw the money. I'm serious. So many people put, bless you. Or was that a cough? I'm not sure. So many, you know what, okay, you guys know I'm talking to you. Am I talking to you guys? You and I are having a talk right now, right? Okay, we're going to talk about money. Can anybody here tell me how much money it takes to care about another human being?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You're right. You're right. Not a penny. So I haven't talked money with you guys, because you guys want to get down with me, you see. Because we believe a lot in peer support. How many here believes in peer support?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking. Okay. So, if Ray calls me up tonight and says, Sam, I need a friend. Can you come over? And I get a telephone call that says, charge him $30 for it. You think I'm going to charge this man $30 to talk to him? No. Because it doesn't take a penny. What can happen, though, and this goes along with self-determination and any kind of independence you have, is that I'll get a call from Ray. I'll talk to Ray. Ray's not having a good day. Okay? But I talk to him as a friend. No money is involved. I like that. We do it all the time with Integrity House members, because we're family, right? Are we family, you guys? We're all family here, right? It doesn't cost a penny to care about another person. I ain't got no money. Sorry, I ain't got no money. I don't want to come over and talk to you. That's also about self-determination. You know, and sometimes we all get it. We all do it. Me, I want to talk about me. I want to talk about us. I want to talk about them. I want to what I think, what I like, what I want. See? Well, I want to talk about you usually. But occasionally, I want to talk about me. Didn't think of that. Well, I'm about to finish, you guys, but before I say goodnight, or is it daytime still? Thank you, Judy. You just smiled away over me looking down that camera.
A star up in the sky will never know how lovely is the light that shines below. It's always there, it never fades without its magic light. How would we find our way? And you don't know how beautiful you are. If your eyes could see the love that's in your heart, then you would know what everybody is all that you could be. What did I feel or think was true?